شين نبزعهم نبزعهم. يا ولد يما عيني اللي فيها هذا عيني كله لا لهم شاعر لهم على شلون يقولوا بابا تلقي اقول لك يعني رايح صارت سنين للحد مو من نفسي. تمام işte. انا ليه قاعده اقول لك اللي يصير زين يشوف زينيه ها. اقول لك ما صار زين يشوف زينيه هذا. هو القاضي. ابني تعيدون تعيدون. Aldık mı biz de vardı. Ne kaldı? Ne diyorum böyle? Fatne diyorum bak Fatne. Baktılar hayır. أقول لكم يا عقدين أغنى تدوس مش المرة الأخرى. عايشين بداية يا ولي حرف الجواب تليفون بنت عبارة ما تخليه تدخل ما نمي هبل اي ولي مساعدة فاتوش فكي شوف الفاتوش ليش عبارة
Belli sandım.
Hayır.
Anne biraz kaldım ya. İyiymiş. Haklı desene. Ne oldu? Kaldım.
Ay. Anne. Nasıl sıcaktı bugün?
Goes ballistic. But no, realistically, I think Pixie's got...
opportunities, still sitting 79 below, gets some damage, but also takes him in return. But now this is where Pixie can go nuclear, finds one, finds two eliminations, and that is going to be his bailout, but he's still just sitting 22 above, and because he has to heal, he doesn't get the chance to actually take more shots towards teams rotating elsewhere. But Collapsy, I mean, he tried to be the hero, and instead it just turns completely 180 there for Collapsy and Kill.
Yeah, Pixie does well there to hold his nerve when both players are running at you from two different sides. Unfortunately, just took a bit too much damage there to the burst SMG. There's not really much you can do when you're holding on like that, but again, it'll keep him ticking just above. A better situation than what Dan DePuzzo's in. What is going on? All of our game one best players, it feels like they're all struggling here. It's not illegal, guys, to have two good games in a row. Dan DePuzzo is a solo. Again, this doesn't look like a game we're going to see them soaring in the skies on height, and so we'll see what you can make of it as a solo. Clutching up points now will be good for them as far as consistency goes if you can continue to stay in it.
At this point, Ghosty and Glove, they might have the best opportunity here to just get some additional shots, kind of control what's taking place on these low ground tiers. But Dan DePuzzo, trying to cut off a player, doesn't actually get to fully catch them out, though. Instead, he will be dropped. And so many individual plays being made, though, by some of these solos. Because now teams, they are beginning to drop like flies. The way that the zone is pulling and some of the shifting elevation, it's just enough for players to be getting caught out, basically, on some of these rotates. Walks and Vanya, on the other hand, though, 225 above. It's not the highest, but they're still in a much better position than the rest of the lobby, and they're going to immediately try to take over front side. Slightly elevated here, too, so this is prime opportunity to strike and start looking back, getting some additional damage in.
Absolutely. We saw just how... This time around, he's going to need to rely on Wox there to potentially get them a refresh. The materials are starting to look a bit on the lower side. And so if they can find one of these players who's fumbling around low on surge, it will set them up to potentially sneak out of this lobby altogether in game two. Kolb and Peshkov looked good so far, but they need to hold off from Kantry and Drew. These guys desperate to try and keep themselves above surge, just below now, and burning through materials trying to stay in the safe zone.
It's crazy to think how quickly the lobby just begins to lock in on a target, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And for Ju and Kantry, they've done just enough. 90 above now, big tags on Taquito is only going to raise that even further still, and now they'll be able to use that overdrive grenade forward. But Seti, Rax, we wanted to see some good things from this duo, and we're finding it right now onto Shumich. Great elimination there for Seti to continue boosting up their surge.
A bit of aim training there, right? He was just sat in there. I'm sure everyone wants to copy that scenario in creative. We'll see whether or not, though, that aim's going to continue to shine through. Pixie, we know the struggles you're going to have as a solo in this game with nothing but wood left and not much as far as healing goes. It's going to come down to one thing we know Pixie is very good with, and that is his shotgun. Can he jump in a box? Sees the opportunity, goes for the edit, players spraying through. Can't quite find the time in Pixie.
It's the double-edged sword, right, of being in those wood builds. Another duo immediately recognizes the fact that this is a weakened solo, so they took their advantage where they could, and that's going to lead to a missed opportunity here. But no, Riley, Reason on low ground one more time. Just trying to pan around, head on a swivel type behavior. Just off east of them, Clemento, a bit isolated. But no Riley Reason, they're still taking their time. They're playing through the backside. They're looking for some of these injured players, and they're going to find Rax on the rotate. That is a nice little pickup if they can make it for those types of materials, because they're going to need it.
Yeah, to find something to keep them ticking in this one. Both of these players, we've seen them in situations like this before in their careers, and the one thing we can say is you never count them out. They're always going to find the opening. Reason trying to jump in the boxes, no one go down. He's been here before. Can he find that window of opportunity and slide right through it? He can't. Pixie, though, is looking to do the same as we have mates up on top. This is going to be a very close finish for all these duos down below as we move towards the edge of this cliff.
He's not exactly the most healthy solo either. Pixie still lurking in the underbelly of this lobby, just waiting to see if he can get a pre-edit or something. Doesn't matter if it's a run across his screen, but Pixie here realizes there's no one close enough. He's gonna have to just keep things moving forward. He doesn't have any sort of white heals, so he can't really afford to tank up any of these storm ticks. Run straight into the hands of another individual, but he's not gonna be able to get the shot to his final 6 HP. He needs a shot now or never. Doesn't have the choice to choose. He's going to connect, but it's not enough. He's going to just have to keep mantling overhead. The fact that he has been taken out, and finally he will fall. A great attempt, but just not enough damage here. And mates drop from height. No materials left over. It's going to be the Mont Blancs headed straight for high ground.
Yeah, they were setting up to take it. But I'm not too sure why these guys don't have the materials to hold on. They're just going to try and use their utility to hit some shots, and shots they'll need to hit. Scary and Sayas, they're looking to take their claim, but they also don't have the materials to hold on. Everybody in this lobby has to rely on just their aim and their shotguns to try and connect. Scary will finally pick up a siphon that will give him enough to continue to just hold on here and give themselves a second to heal.
It's gonna be a huge moment for the Spaniards, but you can't count out the rest of the lobby. Ghosty and Glove trying to play things through, still working these lower tiers, but ultimate low is not safe. You have to anticipate that there's going to be somebody lurking on the other side of these walls eventually, as they continue to try to pickaxe their way through, keeping things moving forward. A little bit of a bailout there for Ghosty as he finds some scattered material, but Scary with another elimination on the high ground. That might just be enough. The HP refresh. Saya's gonna send himself backwards though. The overdrive grenade, maybe not his direction intention, but Ghosty and Glove. It is a 2v2 outright affair here. Glove, Ghosty from low. One build left. Scary and Ciaz, they can taste it. They can see the out. They have to do this for their own country representation. Scary gonna send themselves up. Ghosty and Glove still underneath, just waiting. They've got no materials left. It is going to come down to the aim trainer. Finally, Saya is gonna get some shots. Glove will be knocked. One more left to play, and the Spanish have done it. Saya's and Scary Sean, welcome to the Major 1 Grand Finals.
What a finish for the Spaniards. You said it yourself. They were in the prime position, and it was just about the execution, which they perfected. A great win for this duo, and a duo that many people will have to watch out for and keep them on your radar. What a second game for this team. They take the height and they do it in style. Back to their desk to break that one all down.
Well, first of all, before we break that victory down, to Carter, how do you feel to have Spanish representation in the Major 1 Finals?
No, you should have seen the smile on my face when they were in those final moments. I mean, these heats overall has had some of the most Spanish representation we've seen in a long time, and Scary Ciaz being one of the first, or if not the first, to qualify themselves now to the finals. It's what you love to see in the actual Major Finals.
Yeah, it was really nicely played as well. I mean, the way that they were on high, the way they had the patience there at the end just to close out those fights. It can be really, really tempting when you're a team on high, particularly if you're a slightly inexperienced team. I mean, Sayas hasn't actually made an FNCS Major Final yet. It can be really, really tempting just to drop on down, just to try and make those plays yourself. But the way that they went about this endgame here, Takata, look at this. Just, you know, they kept their composure, they kept their persistence, and they stayed up on high.